the Cajun capital of the world.
I'm the average Lafayette, Louisiana kid.
See, I'm back on my...
Hey, fellas. Hey, Raging Review said, congratulations. Say what's up, y'all. Yeah!
People that have courage don't have no extra gene and no difference in you. The difference is, are you going to sit down when it's time to stand up?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Rage and Review as we go into the conference tournament to face the Marshall Thundering Herd tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock Central. Welcome to the Cup Chair edition as I'm in a hotel because, on the road, getting things done, and literally that's where I'm at right now. We'll actually have like two more there with direct view. I don't know. Hotels are always weirding me out there, Kev. Heard you laugh. Why is that funny?
Well, you said you're.
Yeah, don't repeat it, boys. We will
Cup Chair edition.
We will get into things in just a second. I promise it won't get into Rage and Review After Dark until after dark. So we still got a little bit of time. We're going to get into the Marshall game. We'll wrap up a little bit of Coastal Carolina series. We'll talk about the tournament, RPI, all that stuff. Things going around the Sun Belt as well. Chat about all that. First, we got to thank our sponsors. So we'll do that. When we come back, we'll get into it.
We'd like to thank the following partners who make Rage and Review possible. Our title sponsor, the Best Stop Family Market, with locations in Katy and Baytown, Texas, Toledo Bend, Karen Crow, and of course the official location opened in 1986 in Scott. Visit the Best Stop and ask about the Rage and Review tailgate platters. Gulf Coast Bank, title sponsor of the Tailgate Show every Saturday, 3 hours before kickoff. Planet Radio 106.7. Lafayette Roofing. The Yard Goat. Yes Please Branding and Marketing. Old Time Grocery. Stride Safety Solutions. Eat Lafayette, brought to you by Lafayette Travel. Rage and Hydration. And Dr. Brett Venable at Recovery Chiromed. And we'd also like to thank our Patreon sponsors listed here. For only $2 a month, you too could have early access to uncut interviews before they air here on our shows. You also get an exclusive Patreon icon next to your name on Cajun Threads, the official message form for Rage and Review. If you are interested in joining as a Patreon, visit us at patreon.com/rageandreview. Thanks to all of our corporate and Patreon sponsors for making this show possible.
And as always, thanks to Dana and Damon and the whole group at the Best Stop. As I mentioned, I'm really excited about attending their party coming up later this year for 40 years of the Best Stop in Scott, and now locations in Katy and Baytown, Texas, Toledo Bend, Broussard, Karen Crow, the mothership in Scott. 40 years of doing business. We get to go to that little celebration later this year, and I look forward to dressing up with Cole and his shrimp boots. That will be a spectacle to spectacleize. Boys, let's talk about the Coastal Carolina series. And before we do that, let me go ahead and throw our neat little graphics up. I actually forgot to throw them up earlier today, so let me go ahead and put that there. And then we'll get our cameras just right, and there we go. All right, we're going to talk about the Chanticleers getting plucked, and that's exactly what happened as the Raging Cajuns took care of business against Coastal Carolina, taking 2 out of 3 games. They won on Thursday night 7-2. They lost 6-0 on Friday, which will be important, and I'm sure we'll circle back to that game later tonight. And then they won the final rubber match on Saturday 3-2. I know we talked about this already, but I do want to give a chance for everybody to kind of get their thoughts on the series, kind of their feeling after it's kind of settled in a little bit. So, Mike, I'll start with you. Final thoughts to kind of wrap up how you feel about the Coastal Carolina series going into the tournament.
Yeah, and to talk about everything as a whole, everything was such a good, complete, clean game. We had such really good pitching that showed up when we needed it. We had 2 games where we had double-digit hits. Setting the tone Thursday was probably the most important game, and they did it very well, 7-2 win. They completely dominated. Cody Brash was the star of the show Thursday night. Ended up with going into the last game, Ty Roman probably pitched the best. We needed him to pitch, and he showed up. Papin Brock in a huge moment at the end of the game to seal the deal. I like the way they responded after losing game 2. I thought everybody responded really well in the games and as the whole series as a whole. When pitchers gave up hit, they responded with outs. When hitters didn't hit, they responded with hits. I thought losing Friday and then coming back and responding Saturday was absolutely huge. Huge series win because they put us in a really good position moving forward. So props to the guys. They absolutely showed up when we needed it. They had really good offense, really good pitching, and excellent defense. We had the whole series with 0 errors, man. It was the outfield put on a show Saturday. Such a clean, complete game.
I was going to say, outside of Cody Brash, Kev, really, I mean, we could talk about Colt Brown, we could talk about Amade, we could talk about clutch hitting, but really the star of the show outside of Cody Brash to me was the defense on Saturday. Holy cow, man! I mean, Noah Lewis, Don in right field. You had a couple web gems throughout the weekend, especially from Rodriguez, Blaze at shortstop. I mean, just not Colt Brown, Owen Gall. We got to talk about him and give him his props because he played excellent defense, including saving a run at first base. Defense this weekend was much improved. They didn't let things kind of snowball because they never let that first error happen for it to snowball. But I got to tell you, man, I'm very encouraged going into the tournament with the way these guys played defense this weekend. They played like they wanted to win the games.
Yeah. Now, defense, especially like you said, Saturday stole the show. I mean, you kind of said it, but Donnie LaSalle, to me, is your player of the weekend. Not just defensively, but offensively as well. He goes 4 for 8 this weekend with 4 RBIs. He comes through with a huge double there. He goes, 2 for 2 on the Thursday night game with that big double. So he makes a bunch of plays out there. He dives for a couple of balls. He bounces off the wall. He makes a leaning catch into their bullpen. I believe on Saturday. And on top of that, like you said, Noah. There's been times this year where it's like you feel comfortable with Noah out there because of his speed, but you still get the feeling that he's adjusting to tracking down these kind of hits at this level. These balls are coming off the bat a lot harder than at high school. And, he's been fooled a couple of times with the trajectory and, the velocity off the bat, and you've seen him have to recover. And, man, I think it was Thursday night or it may have been Friday in the loss where he tracked down some absolute rockets that Coastal hit and wasn't quite able to get his glove on it. He had stabbed at one. He almost made an incredible catch. But look, he made up for it Saturday with some great sliding catches. We can't talk about him without talking about his offensive performance. He was great this weekend as well. Total of 5 for 12 at the plate. He was 3 for 5 on Thursday night, so that was huge. He had scored a run Thursday night, 2 for 4 Saturday to go with that great defensive performance. We can't not talk about how good Owen Galt's been coming in for Rigo Hernandez in a spot where we're at App State and we're kind of like, what's going to happen? We weren't sure after the Tuesday game against UNO what we're going to do at second base. And I think on the Sunday game, we decided to stick Galt there. And I think we all kind of knew going into after the injury that Galt probably was our best defensive second baseman. but you hadn't really seen much of him this year. You'd seen him make a few uncharacteristic errors. You'd seen him struggle at the plate. So for him to step up this weekend in the biggest weekend of the year, possibly of the last, I don't know, a couple of years or so, that's huge. He had a great day at the plate, or weekend at the plate as well, going 4 for 9. So everyone really stepped up and did their part this weekend. The freshmen, the upperclassmen. It was a total team effort. We didn't give up. We didn't back down. I mean, it's everything you could have asked for from top to bottom.
I got to shout out Daryl Longclaw. He's in Cancun. Can't get ESPN Plus, but he can get Rage and Review, and he's watching us in Cancun. So props to you, my dude. Let me give you a little toast in my Holiday Inn cup I got here. Toast to you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. And if somebody can teach this man how to VPN so he can get ESPN Plus, hit us up. We'll get you in contact because, Daryl, there are ways to get that done, brother. I'm telling you, certainly ways to get that done. I'll ask you guys one more question, then we'll move on. Dude of the week. And I know this is probably something we might start in football season on a regular basis. Like, who's the dude of the week? And that could be any sport, but we'll contain it to baseball right now because that's really the one that's going on. Who's your dude of the week, Mike? If you had to pick one from last week, who's the guy that you give props to? There are many to choose from. You can't go wrong on this question.
Right. There's a lot to choose from because every single person stepped up this weekend. But for me, I'm just really big on always game one. And what Cody Brash has done, he went 6 innings, 1 hit, 0 walks, and faced 20 batters against a really good ball club. I have to give it to Cody Brash because without him, we don't know where we would be. I think him setting the tone Thursday was probably the biggest part of the series. And the fact that he went 6 innings against a really, really good ball club and shut him down with only 1 hit and no walks. He completely dominated the strike zone. The scouts were out there. Great atmosphere. Got to give it to Cody Brash.
Kev, what you thinking, man?
Well, I know I just said that I thought Donnie LaSalle was my player of the week, but I'm going to go ahead and give you one more. My dude of the week. No one's talked about it. Steven Spalita, in the bottom of the 5th inning on Saturday, legs out a fielder's choice and reaches on a fielder's choice that could have been a double play that ends the inning. He scored a run there. At the end of the day, that was the game-winning run on Saturday in the series-winning run. So for him to leg out that hit there in a clutch situation, man, we could be having a whole different conversation. Like you said, we could have went a lot of ways. There's a lot of dudes of the week. But no one's talked about Spalita this weekend and that hit, and really a solid year all around. So I'm going to give it to Spalita. Can't hear you.
Here we go. There we go. I'll go one further because I don't want to recycle. It's easy to go by what you guys said. You could even throw Colt Brown out there, but I really think Owen Galt, man, for me this week matured. And look at what he did. The first thing I told my dad and I were watching the game, and he missed. He dropped the ball at second, which that run ended up scoring in that inning. What's the first thing he does when he comes up to bat? Gets a single up the middle, and that's maturity that you like to see out of guys like Owen Galt. And in fact, it actually pissed me off because I go back to thinking about that middle game at App State going, what the hell were we doing? The answer was right here the whole time. Like, why the hell did we rearrange the entire infield for a second baseman when the answer was there? So, props to OG. He stepped up. He worked while he waited. He's getting the opportunity. That's my day of the week. I got to give it to my guy. All right, guys, let's move on to Marshall, the Thundering Herd, as we play them tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock in the Sun Belt Championship Tournament. And look, it was easy riding against those guys for quite a while. We had 6 straight wins that we rattled off against the Thundering Herd. And then last year, they kind of tripped us up twice. In fact, we lost to them 9-5 in Montgomery and then 17-13 in Montgomery. So I think it's time for a little bit of payback. The difference this year, guys, that cannot go unmentioned is Taylor Sandifer. He was the pitching coach at Marshall for the last couple of years. He did a number on us last couple of games that we played against the Thundering Herd. And I think things might be a little bit different this year. I think we might have a little bit of an advantage, especially on the mound where they're not pitching very well. But of course, I don't want that to get back to anybody that I'm saying, oh, they're a terrible pitching team. I'm just saying right now their stats don't look like they're going to get it done on the mound. However, you got to play the game, and that's what we're doing tomorrow in a very crucial series for an ability or the ability for us to get into an NCAA tournament appearance as an at-large. Kev, I know you did a little bit of a deep dive, as did you, Mike, so I'll start with you, Kevin. Tell us a little bit about the Thundering Herd, and then, Mike, if you want to add on to that, go right ahead, man.
Yeah, well, I know Mike's got a few interesting facts about their starting pitcher Blevins and the relation with our pitching coach Taylor Sandifer. So I'll start with a little rundown of some metrics, and then I'll get into pitching real quick. So the Marshall Thundering Herd this year comes in at 23-31 overall. They are 13-17 in the conference. They're coming in with a RPI of 179, a strength of schedule at 126. They are a combined 5-22 in Q1 and Q2 games this year. So they've struggled in the big games. They do have one notable win this year, a Q1 victory, a 13-4 win against Virginia Tech way back in March. So nothing really jumps off the page there statistically. If you want to look at their pitching stats this year, they're coming in with a 6.14 ERA, which is 170th in the country, a whip of 1.59, which is 139th, 8.6 strikeouts per nine, which is 106 in the country. They have a 62% left on base percentage, which is 184th in the country. Strikeout to walk ratio is a 2.08, which is 89th in the country. They're fielding 970 this year, which is good for 100th in the country. They've given up an average of 10.15 hits per 9 innings, which is 185th in the country. So, again, nothing really jumps off the page there in the pitching department statistically. Probable starting pitcher, and I think it's no secret who they're going to throw. We just kind of talked about it. It's their guy. The senior left-handed pitcher, Bryce Blevins, is probably going to get the start. Looking at him this year, he has an 8-4 record with 14 starts. He has 102 innings pitched this year, which leads the team. A 4.59 ERA, which also leads the team. He's given up 111 hits, 52 earned runs. He has 86 strikeouts, which leads the team, and only 18 walks. And he's giving up a .278 batting average against. Relief pitchers you could possibly see in the game. We just went with two of their main guys. Both of these guys have 3 saves on the year, and they are leading the team in that department. First, we got Charlie Krebs, a junior right-hander. He's got 38 innings pitched this year, a 5.68 ERA, 23 appearances. He's given up 42 hits, 24 earned runs. He has 37 strikeouts and 20 walks with a 276 batting average against. The other guy you could possibly see is the freshman righty Davis Gunn. He's gone 21 innings this year, respectable 5.14 ERA, 19 appearances, 25 hits, only 12 earned runs, only 18 strikeouts and 13 walks. Opponents hitting .294 against him. And that's the pitching rundown for the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Mike, I'll give you the opportunity to do a comment on that. Your thoughts about what we could face on the mound tomorrow afternoon.
So if we're assuming that Blevins is going, right, he's a guy that has faced us last year, and he kind of owns us right now. Last year in game 1 of the tournament, he goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and gets the W over us in the conference tournament. So this is a guy that, which Lee and Drew might have already seen before, and they're going to see him again, but he has really good stats against us. He kind of owns us. His last outing was pretty rough. So he threw 96 pitches on the 14th, right? That Thursday, which everybody did play. So he started Thursday against Texas State, goes 7 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, throws 96 pitches. So hopefully we see him a little sore and he's not up to par because he did throw a lot of pitches, but he will be on a 3 days rest. This guy, according to D1, it's a guy that's going to throw mid to late 80s fastball, but he's got a lot of junk. He's almost like a little Herm, right? He's going to have two different types of breaking pitches and a changeup. But the guy is so impressive. He has a 4.1 walk rate. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He has a 19% strikeout rate. He will attack the zone, and he's not going to walk a lot. The good part is that the opponent batting averages are 278 against him. So they are hitting him, but it looks like he responds well with outs right after he gives up hits. Opponents are slugging 453. On base percentage is 319. So this guy, which we're all assuming that's their number one guy, and that's who we're going to see, he will strike the zone. But what's so impressive is that if you go look at all of his outings, most of his outings are 7+ innings. He's very durable. He goes long games. I think he has 2 complete games on the season. This guy, if you keep him in the zone and locked in, he's going to go the whole game. He's the type of pitcher we're going to have to attack really early, try to make them uncomfortable, get them off the mound and try to bunt and try to get into their bullpen. Their back end of the bullpen is not very good ERA-wise, but it's a single elimination game. They're going to throw everybody just like we will. So they're going to throw their best guys. And I think it's going to be really crucial that we attack him early. Don't let him settle in because he will go the whole game. He already has a win against us last year in the tournament. It's kind of like a revenge game for us. I hope we can attack him early. Really, really want to make him comfortable. Another pitcher was Tim Bard, that he is another returner that faced us last year in the tournament. He won. He was the second win in the tournament. He goes a 1 2/3 inning, didn't pitch a lot, but he did give up 4 hits, 4 earned runs. But they did get the walk in that second game of the conference tournament. He's a guy, according to D1, he has some velo, right? He's going to throw around 97. He has a slider, and last year his slider had a 48% whiff rate. So guy's completely effective. It's just if they're going to use him or not. It all depends. It's all going to start with Blevins, right? And then they're going to go with their best guys right after. So I think it's going to be crucial. We could look at all the numbers and all the ERAs, but they're going to throw their best guys Thursday. There's no game 2. There's no game 3. It's one and done. They're going to throw everybody at us, as I think we will too.
So here's my question, and Kev, I'll ask you, I'll pose this question. You know, having Sandy on our side now, how much, I mean, obviously you still have to go out there and execute the game plan and hit the ball. But if you're looking at, you know, what percentage of an advantage for a batter is it to have Sandy coaching you as the former pitching coach for Marshall? You would think he would probably give you ideas on, you know, how these guys deliver the ball, maybe something that tips their pitches. Talk to me a little bit about how big or little of an effect that may have on the game this weekend, knowing that, or tomorrow, knowing that we have Sandy on our side and he was their pitching coach last year.
I think it's got to have some effect on it. I don't think it's as huge a deal as maybe in football. You know, sometimes you get like an offensive coordinator from a school you're going to play the following year, and if the playbook's the same, there's a lot of stuff that they can help with. I don't think it's as big an advantage in baseball. I don't even know if I'm really qualified to speak on that, but I just feel like you said, it comes down to execution. No matter what you know or don't know, at the end of the day, your batters have to have a good approach and they have to execute. And every at-bat's going to be different. Every pitch is going to be different. Nothing's going to be the same as it was, you know, with Sandy and Blevins in the previous 3 years or whatever it may be. So I think it comes down to execution. I mean, there is an off chance that you could see Marshall and Blevins try to do a few things differently. I mean, I'm sure there's a certain way they like to pitch with him, and I know Sandy had a lot to do with that in developing him. You know, a lot of people credit one of Sandy's biggest credits or accolades, if you look, is Blevins. He's an amazing pitcher. You know, let's not get that lost. He's your typical Friday night starter that everyone in the conference would love to have. So,
but I think don't you agree that it's not like necessarily a 50% advantage you have there, but it's something that he knows the delivery. He knows what to look for. He knows what batters should be seeing out Like, to me, that gives you a little bit of an advantage. Now, Blevins or whoever can totally change their windup just for this game, just to piss us off. But you would think that we have a little bit of an advantage there versus last year when we were going against them.
That's right. I mean, that is 100% right. But that's what I was going to say. It's like, do you wonder if they change anything with his delivery or, the way he comes at batters? Do they try to tweak some stuff knowing that Sandy is there and Sandy could have a leg up and have some intel for us? If they try to do that, can it force him to be uncomfortable? Is he going to do some uncharacteristic stuff? There's a lot of question marks there, but there's no possible way you can look at it and say it's not some sort of advantage.
Yeah, and I agree with Brian Minton here, who, by the way, is like a genius when it comes to RPI talk. So we might have to have him give us some pointers later. But he talked about having to piece it together. I think, and you mentioned it earlier, for our hitters, it's important that we jump on pitching early. Because I think if we could get, if you score 4 or 5 runs in 3 innings and Brash is on cruise control, maybe we pull him a little bit earlier to put someone in relief of him. If it's 0-0 going into the 5th, we're hoping that Brash can pitch as long as we can. So I think we protect him for a championship game if we can get there. But at the same time, it depends how our offense shows up. And I think we're a little better offensively than we were last season. I think especially at this point of the season, guys. But I just think we're a better team offensively right now, and I think, as good as he was last season, if we do face Blevins tomorrow, I think we're going to have a little more success. Not saying we'll score 20 runs, but I think it's important, like you said, Kevin, that we attack the ball and our offense gets hot early so we can protect Brash as much as we can, guys. I think that's going to be important tomorrow. Now, as far as offense, Kevin, do you have anything to contribute on the offensive side of things? I know they're a little bit like us offensively. They're not, blowing the top off the ball this year, and they've actually got less home runs than we do. But offensively, what can we expect from them? And I think, is Jackson Halter still on that team this year?
Jackson Halter absolutely is still on their team.
And I hope we strike him out every time. But anyway,
it's going to be hard because we'll get right into it. Marshall, batting wise, as a team, they're scoring an average of 6.4 runs per game. That's 169th in the country. They're averaging 280, which is 139th in the country. And again, all of these numbers are close to what the Cajuns are, maybe slightly better. Probably not better in the last 3 to 4 weeks, though. That's a good point to remember. On base percentage, they're at a .379, 166 in the country. They're slugging .422, 174th in the country. OPS of 801, which is 177th in the country. They've jacked 45 homers this year, which is down to 191st in the country. So not a team that's going to hit the long ball. Like you said, we've got more home runs than them. And they've stolen 46 bases, which is 236 in the country. That's at the bottom of the barrel. They're not a team that's going to run on you. They're not the most athletic team in that aspect. Going through their starting lineup, you're going to expect to see catcher Jackson Golden. He's hitting .264 this year with 21 RBIs, only 2 homers, slugging .365. First baseman AJ Havrilla at .271 with 38 RBIs, 6 homers, and a .409 slugging percentage. Second base, you're going to see Tyler Kammerer at .323 average this year with 30 RBIs, only 2 homers, with .454 slugging percentage. Third base, Jack Smith, hitting .250 this year with 22 RBIs, only 1 home run. Again, it goes with the theme of this team, slugging .321 this year. Shortstop, you're looking at Mason Onete at .270 this year with only 8 RBIs. A bit of an asterisk there. It's a low number compared to the rest of their starting lineup by far. 3 homers and a .430 slugging percentage. Left fielder Cooper Henson batting .299 this year with 37 RBIs, only 2 homers, a .426 slugging percentage. And here's where you get to some of the power hitters here. Leading the team at batting average is center fielder Evan Batone. I hope I'm saying that right. He is averaging 387 this year. It's a really high clip with 41 RBIs, which, believe it or not, is not in the team lead. We'll get to that. He has 8 homers this year, also not leading the team. He is leading the team in slugging percentage with a 580 slugging percentage. Jackson Halter, you said it. The starting right fielder this year. He's only hitting 255, but the Cat's got 52 RBIs, which leads the team, 11 homers, which also leads the team, and he's slugging 485. So they're getting a lot of their power out of Halter this year, and it's kind of been the theme. A lot of the former Cajuns you see around the league or the country, really, they're hitting a lot of home runs this year, and it kind of makes you wonder. We kind of go back to the wall talk, the fence talk, So one more, the DH, Ethan Murdoch. He is hitting 236 this year with only 17 RBIs, 6 home runs, and a 461 slugging percentage.
All right. Look, a lot of people chiming in about the decision to throw Brash tomorrow, and I think even Dave mentioned that he thought Marshall's a team. If you want to be in a regional, Marshall's a team you should expect to beat, and you should pitch whoever you need to pitch to get through that game, and then follow up with Brash or Herm the following game against Coastal. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know how long Brash is going to go. Are they just showing Brash for an inning and then figuring out from there? I don't know the answer to that. We will see tomorrow. But I'm telling you, I have a quick hook on Brash, because if he's not showing his velocity and his movement on his pitches early, they need to be ready to go into the bullpen very quickly. That's my opinion. I don't want to get too much into this because we'll come back to it as far as tournament play. Mike, anything offensively you wanted to comment about? I think the key is going to be, just not letting them get into a groove offensively, because, again, they don't steal bases. They have an okay batting average. They don't really hit for power. But if they string a couple of 3 hits together, they can make things happen. I think we've got to disrupt that if we do start giving up a couple of hits. Your thoughts offensively for Marshall?
Yeah, majority of their qualified hitters have a really respectable batting average. So you almost have to take them seriously. And this being a single elimination game, we're going to have to calm their bats down. Evan Patone was just named All Sun Belt first team, right? And he's batting 387. The guy's just hot right now. Just to go through the qualified hitters, Evan Patone, their leading guy, has 11% strikeout rate. Doesn't look like he strikes out much at all. Tyler Kamara is 11%. Cooper Henson, 16%. AJ's 13%. Jackson Golden's 13% strikeout rate. Jackson Halter, 17%. So every single one of their qualified hitters have a below 20% strikeout rate, which is pretty respectable, with a really good, respectable batting average. So you have to take them seriously. Don't let Jackson Halter get hot. Don't let him get a home run, because he owned us last year. He got his revenge, because if anybody doesn't know, he was with UL prior to last year. I think in 23, 24?
Yeah.
Last 24. Year.
I'm so sick of that dude.
He completely
he was their offense. He killed us last year.
He got his revenge on us last year. I think he went 3 for 4 that game, completely just went off. Calm. I think the biggest thing is to calm their bats down, right? They got the top half of the qualified hitters, really good numbers. Don't let Jackson get the long ball. Being a bigger park, it favors us because we're used to this. I think we do get the advantage. We have the better pitching staff. So I think if we take advantage of their pitching, get Blevins out as soon as possible, calm their bats down, it could really go our way. But these two teams match up pretty well, and it's going to be basically it's single elimination. It's who shows up. Both starting pitchers, if we're assuming Blevins goes, both pitchers threw a lot of pitches and coming off a 3-day rest, right? So we kind of really don't know what we're going to expect if we throw Brash and if they throw Blevins, right? We're all just assuming here. But knowing that these guys are coming off a lot of pitches on a 3 days rest, it's really, really crucial to make Blevins really uncomfortable, get them off the mound. And then if we do throw Brash, right, I would love to see Brash go 5 or 6. Got to give short innings. Don't get behind in counts. Don't get to that 3-0 counts. Really attack their pitchers with first pitch strikes. We could do some damage, but I think the Ben 280 is a team for a reason, right? Pretty respectable, right? It's better than ours, and I think is who's going to show up that day. It's single elimination, man. There's no Wednesday. You got to throw everybody at them.
Look, I feel like our offense will determine if Brash throws 40 pitches or if he throws 80 pitches. That in my opinion, that's what it all comes down to. Can we get our offense going early to get him out of the game and support him with the bullpen? And then again, the bullpen has to come in. And we'll talk about maybe one of Deg's comments about, you guys don't let me forget, when he mentioned that J.R. Tillett would be like we're depending on him to win the tournament. Don't let me forget to talk about that in the Lanyap thing, because I know that was controversial, but he may be very right about that. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But I like Brian's. We got to channel. Excuse me, the inner Blake Marshall. I agree, boys. I agree. Final thoughts on Marshall tomorrow. I think we've kind of given our opinion on what we need to do to beat them, and we've taken a deep dive into the stats, but it's not analytics, it's analytics at this point, and it's one and done, and throw all that out the door. Two teams are fighting for survival. One thing I did want to bring up is that they, even though they haven't been that impressive throughout the season with huge wins, and they're not blowing anybody out except for St. Bonaventure, where they scored like 25 runs. I don't even know who St. Bonaventure where they play, but anyway, I know they're in basketball. But Friday nights, they're really competitive and win. And Friday night guys who will be facing tomorrow most likely. So we're going to have to swing the bat and do some things offensively, and hopefully we get a little bit of an edge with their pitching coach on our side this year. Let's go around the horn. Typically we say, what are your thoughts? How many games are we going to win the series? I'm not going to ask for a score. I'm just going to ask you to, confidence-wise, on a scale of 1 to 100%, how confident are you in the Cajuns getting the win tomorrow? Mike, I'll start with you. I see you thinking about it. I mean, it's not, it's a very broad spectrum kind of question, but I did want to throw that out there. What is your confidence in percentages, 1 to 100, of the Cajuns getting the dub tomorrow, moving on in the tournament?
Well, we are playing our best ball right now. I think coming off Coastal was absolutely humongous and a confidence booster. But again, they're throwing their Friday night guy, right? So that's almost concerning me. And there's no 3-game series. It's one and done. They're throwing their best. Hopefully we're throwing our best. I'm kind of just looking at their RPI real quick. 179 RPI. They had a 217 non-conference RPI, 126 strength of schedule, and a 206 non-conference strength of schedule. So they're not playing really tough teams. So looking at that, it gives me more confidence. But knowing that they're throwing their Friday night guy, that's a little more concerning. Confidence-wise, I'm about a 60%.
I'd say I'm about 75% confident in the fact that I think we're on the upwards trend, and Marshall's kind of been pretty consistently where they are all season. So I'll say 75% from my perspective. Kev, I'll let you wrap it up. Your thoughts, 1 to 100. What are you thinking odds tomorrow night?
You guys, where's the confidence? It's not.
Brother, I went 75%. You
75 is too low.
Just...
It's 99. The answer is 99.
Of course you would say that. I shouldn't. Whatever.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's true. Look, the Cajuns are 24-9 this year at home. And I know that the Teague and the crowd has a lot to do with that. But one of the biggest reasons for that is the fact that we play in a pitcher's park. It's considered one of the hardest, if not the hardest park to hit out of or hit in the nation. We're going to a park in Montgomery that plays very similar, if not bigger, than ML Teague Field. That's going to give us a huge advantage on the pitching side of things, as you've seen this year, all year. The key to this weekend, the key to tomorrow night will be good defense. Your defense plays behind you. Look, we're not expecting Marshall to come out there and mash 4 or 5 home runs. We're not expecting them to come out there and steal 5 or 6 bases. they're a team that's going to claw. They're a team that's going to scratch, kind of in the way we have this year. But the difference is our pitching staff has been lights out, especially of late, and especially at home in big parks. That gives us all the advantage in the world, statistically, mentally, in every category you can think of. And on top of that, we owe these guys, man. They beat us twice in the tournament last season. And I probably shouldn't say this. I had just as much faith that we'd eliminate them in that elimination game last year. And I don't know, the score was like, 15-11? We couldn't find pitchers. It was just rough. This year, we're not built like that. We're built this year to pitch and play defense in a big park, and we're built to eliminate the Marshall Thundering Herd. I mean, it is what it is. 99%.
All right, man. Well, look, I'll go back to Justin's comment because this was so relevant and true. Will we play down the competition? Will this be another UNO game or will this be a Coastal game? I like the maturity that they showed on Saturday. I almost said Sunday. The maturity that they showed. They were committed to winning that game. We need that same effort tomorrow. And look, whatever happens after that point of the tournament, we'll worry about that when we cross that bridge. And we'll get into other things in a little bit, which I hate doing. You guys were talking about, well, if we do this, then what about if we play Coastal, and then who do we play? And then I hate that talk because my focus is on Marshall, but I will open it up to talking about tournament stuff, anything you guys want to discuss about the tournament. But, going back to Grant, I'm pretty sure it's Blevins versus Brash tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we're pretty confident in. So that's going to be a pretty good pitching matchup. We'll see how that plays out. Ideally, pitch JR and Carter to be set for Colson in other games. All right, let's go ahead. In fact, let's move to the tournament talk. I don't think we're gonna see JR in game one, but he's gonna play. And Deg said he's going. Whether or not we win this conference tournament is going to depend on JR Tillett. And I agree with you. I'm not saying to win a couple games. I'm saying to win the entire tournament. JR Tillett is going to have to factor into that at some point. Here's my question to you guys. When does that factor in? Does that factor in against if we beat Marshall and face Coastal? Does that play in if we lose to Coastal and then are in another elimination game? Does that factor in game 4? Where do you guys think that JR fits into this puzzle? Because, again, I agree with Degs. And Josh said it, and I think we all agreed with him. JR is going to have to pitch at some point in the postseason for us to be able to continue to win. And I just curious to know where that starts. And I'll start with you, Kev. Where do you think that starts with JR on the mound?
Well, I think a guy or someone had mentioned in the comments earlier, where are we going to find our Blake Marshall from 2023 that wiped out Coastal in 2 elimination games to get to the finals? And that's going to be JR Tillett. And I'm glad you brought it up. And I was honestly kind of surprised, not surprised, but I thought it was funny to hear Deggs this morning say he was the key, because I had thought the exact same thing, yesterday, after the Coastal series. I even talked to JR after the game Saturday, and I told him straight up, I said, we're going to need you. You are going to be the piece that gets us over the top in Montgomery or in a regional. You're still a huge part of this team. And he said he's feeling good. He said he's ready to go. He's up for the challenge. So it is true, though. When you got this group of guys and you look at all your pitchers this year, I don't think Tillett hasn't thrown since UNO. So he's good and ready. He's rested up. You're going to need a guy. I would say he would probably come in. I would like to see, obviously, Brash Tuesday night, right? You win that game, you're going to get Coastal again. Herm didn't have his best outing against Coastal Friday. He didn't go too long. Everyone in the world's thinking complete game, right? We're thinking you're going to have to rope him and drag him off the mound. Well, he started having some command issues, and he wasn't really himself. We had to get away from him a little early. The game kind of got out of hand. So he's looking for his revenge. Herm and Brash both threw 88 pitches Thursday and Friday respectively. So I think Herm's going to be primed and ready to go. He's going to be ready to get after Coastal. And whether you lose or win that game, I think you got to go Roman in the next game. We didn't really talk about him too much Saturday, but what a start he had to get us going. To turn it over to Smith and Pearson, and then Pappenbrock to finish it off. So you got to give Roman that start. I think you kind of go with the same rotation you've been going. You don't want to think too far ahead because, in my opinion, and I know we could probably go around the table and talk about this, you really just need to win one, maybe 2 games to get that large. And I know we talked about if you make a deeper run, you get a better seed, which obviously is important. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to the players, they're not looking to just win one game. They're looking to go out there and play this thing all the way to Sunday and win the Sun Belt Conference Tournament Championship. So I think you'll see Tillett, that 4th starter, right? You go your normal rotation, and then that 4th starter. Hopefully we can get there, and like y'all talked about, we can piece it together to get there. But you're going to need him to go, and leave it all out in the line. I think that's going to be your 2023 Blake Marshall, and I am so excited about it because there's a lot of people saying they don't want to see him out there, but man, I still think he's got it.
Grant chiming in, asking if I'm in Montgomery. I wish I were, man. But if you want to hear about the scouting report on Marshall's pitcher Blevins, you might have to rewind just a little bit. I think you could do that live on YouTube right now, and you can get the rundown on Blevins. He's a pretty good pitcher who had our number last year, and I love what Justin said here. Hey, to look ahead, if he were a pitching coach, he'd go Hearn Tuesday, Cody Wednesday, Pruitt Thursday, Roman Friday, Saturday, JR. I think the way that it's setting up right now is they're trying to get Cody in hopefully limited innings tomorrow so that he can come back for the championship game. That is my guess, strategically, and then follow him up potentially with JR. So I think we see JR at some point if we make it to Thursday, but I think that's limited again to see how he does in that game, potentially coming back in the championship game. I don't know. At that point, I'm just, again, I hate talking about this because Marshall is the game we need to get through, but I'll go back to you and let you comment on that, Mike. What are your thoughts? When do we see JR be called upon to pitch this week?
And I might be overlooking or overthinking this, but I think Daggs' comment was to flip that switch in JR. I think it was a motivational comment, is to get him out that mental state. I think it was a motivation booster for JR. I think it was a comment made towards him to just have something.
I think,
switch.
Look, I'm going to agree with Man About Town saying Daggs just listens to our show, and he made a comment after we said it. I mean, I'll take the credit for that, but no, I get what you're saying. Now, it could be just a motivation for him.
It could be, but at the end of the day, will we need him? Absolutely. I mean, we're gonna need all of our pitchers throughout this tournament. So are we gonna need them? Absolutely. But what's interesting about this is that, like, in a tournament, it does not matter what you've done in the season. Forget everything. It does not matter what you went through. It doesn't matter what you did in the beginning of the season. It doesn't matter what you did last weekend. This is tournament time. There's no Wednesday if we don't win Tuesday. And I think if we want a regional bid, at-large bid, or win the tournament, it starts Tuesday. We have to win Tuesday. We don't win Tuesday, we don't have a future. So I think, will we need JR? Absolutely. But I also think Daggs' comment, and I could be wrong, I think Daggs' comment was to just flip it. I think we might see a different JR this tournament because it does not matter what you've done in the past. We just need guys to show up. You just got to play your best baseball right now because this is the most important time of the year. So to JR, it does not matter what you've been through. It does not matter what you threw. It does not matter. Just show up at the right time. But I don't think we see him Tuesday. I think everything will be dependent on how we do Wednesday, and after that, certain situations in the games, up by a lot, down by a lot. If we're running out of arms, I do think we see him though. I do think he's going to be a big piece. I think he shows up this weekend. I'm really hoping we see a turnaround, a completely different JR that we've seen last year and the year before, because we know what he can do. He's been phenomenal. He's been a weekend rotation guy. So we know it's there. And I really hope, and I do think he shows up this weekend. I think we're going to see a different guy.
I agree. And, I think, again, it's going to be, if we make it to Wednesday, or excuse me, make it after Wednesday, it's going to be putting him in a situation to see how he responds. I think that's going to be a big part of it. So, look, we've got all the confidence in JR. We know what he can be. We just need him to get rid of those yips, man. I mean, we all get them. I get them at work all the time. You just got to push through it. You got to work through it, get through the yips, and be as effective as we know you can be. Appreciate Brian Bennon again for chiming in. Cajuns are 40th in RPI right now. He's talking about probability is less than 50% that the Cajuns make the field of 64, going 1-2 in the conference tournament. I tend to agree with him. I'll ask you guys the same question. I think I agree. At 40 right now where we are, we got up to 39. We're back down to 40. We're going to take an RPI hit regardless, even if we beat Marshall. Marshall is down in the 170s, I think. So we're going to take a hit against Marshall, especially if we lose. That's going to drop us a lot. But if we win, we'll probably drop a couple of spots. Playing Coastal, depending on whether we win or lose that game, I think it helps our RPI either way, guys. I think we make up the difference in the Marshall win by a Coastal, just playing Coastal. Then at that point, we need to get another win or two to really solidify us being in the tournament, especially, let's say, I think we could potentially play Troy or even Texas State. That would help our RPI tremendously, playing those guys. So I'm going to say we got to win 2 to feel comfortable. If we win 1, I'm going to be feeling like I'm going to throw up watching the selection show, because you don't know how that's going to go. Mike, are you getting that same feeling in the pit of your stomach right now?
Yeah, because especially this morning, when you hop on Twitter this morning, everybody had a difference of opinion, and I was trying to dive into it and get real answers out of everybody. And I was thinking, we win 1, we're in. And then once you start, looking at the main baseball pages, everybody's saying 2. I think 2 solidifies it. I don't think we have to make a deep run to get in, but that's like the $1 million question right now. I think obviously it starts with Marshall, but I think I want to say 2 gets us in, man. But it's interesting hearing everybody's take on Twitter, because everybody's thinking we need more. And like he said a while ago, 50%, we go 1-2, 50%, right? So that's like the $1 million question right now. It starts with Marshall, though.
But I feel like because of what happened with the conference tournament, because we had literally everything to go against us to not make the 6th seed, and guess what? Everything went against us. It's so dependent on how many stolen bids there are in the tournament. 1 year we made it with a 47 RPI, because there weren't any stolen bids, so there was room for us. So I think we have work to do. I think we got to win 2 games. Kev, what are your thoughts?
It said 50. If we go 1-2, there's a 50-50 shot. I'm leaning
less than 50-50 shot, according to Brian.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna have to disagree with that. Based off of every D1 baseball, Kendall Rogers, every prediction we've seen not even just in the tournament, but we're not even in anybody's last 4 in. And I know they count on you performing some. This is a prediction. That's not if the season ended today. They're counting on you winning a couple of games or whatever they may think you're going to do. But for us to be, the 3 seed and in all these brackets and not in anybody's last 4 in, or obviously last 4 out, I think there's a lot of confidence there. And it shows that there's a lot of confidence in our resume we have already. Right, we're sitting at 40 right now with a 5-7 Q1 record, which could change for the better or for the worse. That's very close with a lot of teams right now. They're right on that threshold. You're 9-6 in Q2, which the Q2 games are pretty big games as well, with a 45 strength of schedule. So you took a series from 2 top 25 teams this year, who are both at the top of the 5th best conference in the country. You haven't lost a Power 4 game all year. You've taken some big series, and I think we kind of talked about this last on the last show. You've taken some big series on the road. You've won in multiple different ways. There's a lot of, and you're trending up. I think that's super important. People don't talk about it. I always say you want to be hot, cold, hot. And I think that's where we're at right now. We're trending up. So there's a lot of factors right now that leads me to believe if you beat Marshall, you are really, really, really looking good to get in as an at-large. Because if you beat Marshall, you go and play Coastal, whose RPI sitting at 24, and being on the road or a neutral game, that's going to be a Q1 game, another Q1 game. And then if you lose to them, hopefully you get Texas State, not App State, because App State's RPI isn't as high as Texas State. Texas State, I believe, is somewhere around 45 or so, similar to ours. So that game, if you do lose that game, you go 0-2 versus Coastal and Texas State. It doesn't really kill your RPI. Obviously, it's not going to help it much.
Kev, land the plane, baby. What's it going to take? How many games for us to get an at-large bid?
I already told you it's going to take one game.
There you go. Because I want to ask you about this, Kevin. How much do you like the pair rankings telling us UL is going to be in the College World Series?
There's a fun fact. You can go on that website and punch in any teams you want and press simulate 1,000,000 times. And I actually did that. And I think it took us around, 2,000 give or take times for us to actually win the national championship. So to see that probably only took one try. So hey, that's pretty good odds, right? It's better
Or maybe
than 2,000.
100. Or maybe 100, right?
I don't know.
Mike, you believe this?
I would love to. I would love to make that run to the World Series. Man, I just think I don't know. It's so interesting. Everybody's take, and I truly deep down want to say one win gets us in, but I think 2 plays it safe. So it's kind of more than 2. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm torn.
Kev, Josh was calling you out. He said, "How dare you disagree with Brian Benton? I mean, how dare you on RPI Talk disagree with Brian Benton? Do you want to clap back on him a little bit? I mean, we're just fans talking, right? We're not getting into exact minutia of the ratings and all this stuff. We're just talking baseball."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his aim is here. I mean, Josh, we asked Josh to come on tonight, and he told us he couldn't, but he sure is in the comments, so I don't know. I wish I knew Brian. Unfortunately, I don't know Brian. It sounds like he's an RPI genius, so I hate to disagree with the guy, but that's just the feeling I'm getting.
Now, Brian is when I tell you he's written public policy, he's helped write public policy. He's actually consulted teams on how to schedule for RPI reasons. That's how good that guy is. So I would say,
how many is he saying? How many gets us in?
He's saying if we go 1-2, we have a less than 50% chance of making it. I think, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking you're saying we need to go 2-2. And he's also saying lose another game to Texas State going 0-4. You're not getting in ahead of Texas State. But I still think with the strength of the Sun Belt as a whole, we should get 4 bids in this year. And I get what you're saying, Brian, but I still think we should get 4 in. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I also think we probably won't face Texas State because they can't hit it out the ballpark there. I think it's just a totally different situation for them. You notice where they win their ball games. So, I mean, do we even face Texas State? I don't know. Maybe if they luck out and win the first game. But I don't think there's any way in hell we lose 4 straight to Texas State. Screw those guys. Send them packing finally like we should have done in the regular season. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Win tomorrow. That's all I want, boys. Is just to win tomorrow.
I do think we have a really good schedule. I think we have a good stat sheet that 40 RPI, 36 non-conference RPI, 45 strength of schedule, 61 non-conference strength of schedule. So I think we got a really good resume. We did have some bad losses, but we had some really good wins. And Brennan Bro did say it's how you do on that last stretch, and I think we're
1,000%.
I think we're there. I
1,000%.
think our schedule speaks for itself.
And let's not forget, we do have a Sun Belt representative on the selection committee, so hopefully he's pushing for the Sun Belt to get 4 bids. I think that's the right thing to do. Brian's saying he's quite concerned the Sun Belt will not get 2 bubble teams in the tournament. I think watching I think if Kentucky gets in ahead of a Sun Belt team and steals the bid from us, that would be absolutely par for the course. And I'll just leave it at that. I'll close out tournament talk by asking you guys, let's say we make it past Marshall. Interesting decision for Schnall at Coastal. Who do you pitch against the Cajuns in that first game? And don't forget, they're fighting still with a glimmer of hope to try to make a run and get that hosting chance back. So who would you throw, Mike? Who do you think, if you're Kevin Schnall, looking at the Cajuns, looking at who had success? I mean, Fluky was absolutely shut down. Both their pitchers absolutely were shut down. Who do you go with on that first game against the Cajuns on Wednesday if we make it?
I mean, I think they're in regardless, so it's not do or die for them. But
they're in, but they want to host, and they've got work to do there, a lot of work to do.
I do think the Luke Jones kid that threw against us Thursday was really good. I think Cam Fluky, as much as I want to say Cam Fluky, just because he's projected first-round draft pick, he's going to be their guy. I kind of want to go there, but can he go that long into a game? He's kind of still on a rehab pitch count. I kind of want to say Cam Fluky, but you can't go wrong with Luke Jones. I think it's one of those two.
I have a Fluky story after this, Kev, but I do want to get your take. What are your thoughts? What do you think, if you were Schnall in his situation, who are you pitching against the Cajuns if we make it?
I think you go Horn. I don't know.
Dude, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, because, I mean, we heard it from a few players say, we probably could have handled Fluky, but they just couldn't touch Horn. So if I'm Coastal, and if I'm UL, I'm licking my chops if they throw him again. You get another shot at him, obviously. But if I'm Coastal, I think it'd be crazy not to throw him. I mean, he's not one of your starters. He's your top reliever. But that being said, Coastal's looking to win this tournament and to try to host. If you got a guy that's not a starter and locked us down, which, and I'm not trying to take away from the guy, obviously, but I think that's who you got to go with, right? You save Fluky for what they would hope would be a winner's bracket game.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Cam Fluky, a little bit disappointing. And look, I will preface this by saying I wasn't there, so I can't tell you I saw it with my own eyes. A couple people told me what young kids like to do right under the first base bleachers section, right by the cooking club, is that when the visiting team, passes through that gate, they give high fives, they give fist bumps, thank you, good luck, whatever. Cam Fluky had some choice words, refused to shake hands or fist bump. I see you, Mike. I see you. So I want to get your guys' take on this. Again, I wasn't there, but I was told that Cam Fluky on Saturday in the final game, walking out of the stadium, was a total a-hole and big-time kids who were just trying to be good sports and give high fives. Mike, tell me what's going on there, brother.
I think that's just poor sportsmanship, man. You're about to be drafted. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard, regardless if you lost. I get it. He's probably the biggest competitor on the team. I get it. Totally get it. But if there's kids around and you're walking and they're trying to just congratulate you, you handle yourself in a way better, more professional way, because you're about to get drafted, right? You can't be doing that in the pros. All the cameras are going to be on you. So kind of surprised when I heard that story. A little unsportsmanlike. Like, you got to hold yourself a little better than that.
I mean, I don't have any kids as far as I know. I know, Mike, you don't have any kids. I'm like, Doug, I might have anyway, we're not going to go there. Kev, you don't have kids, but you I have nieces and nephews. I would be pissed off if they asked if somebody showed their ass like that. And I'm interested for those in the chat watching at home to get your input. Like, is that just a fierce competitor, just, with his game face on? Or is that just a D-bag kind of attitude to not, game's over, it's a bunch of kids, humor them. Like, I'm on that side. I'm like, humor the kids, man. It's a game, and you're out there to have fun. But when you start acting that way to young kids, that to me is almost crossing the line a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's how someone should be, especially a guy of a higher profile player like him. But I do understand. I don't even want to say I understand it, but I'm going to say it likely came from a place of competitiveness and frustration. No, he didn't throw that day. This happened Saturday, correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he had pitched that day and lost the game and been pissed off, I kind of get it a little bit. But you didn't even pitch, dude. And by the way, the guy who came behind you, which I purposely forgot his name, acted the total ass. I hope they go back and watch that if we make it a Wednesday. All the guys on the team go back and watch the way that reliever came in and acted like a complete, D-head. And so, like, you got it. You got us on Friday, but, like, it's a whole day later, bro. It's a game. Like, give the kids,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll agree there. I think it was a little over the top. I wish I could have seen the altercation. I know Hudson had told us about it. Look, in all the celebration, I guess I wasn't really paying attention to that. So, yeah, I don't know.
In the midst of Doug throwing up in the stands and whatever else is going on. Puke and rally, baby.
Doug did puke and rally. I'll give him that. He got that buzz cut after the game, so he was a man of his word. Shout out, Doug.
By the way, who gave it? Because you all abandoned me. I'm like, we're going to my house to shave his head, and none of y'all showed up. Way to go.
We had
yeah.
We celebrated.
We that conversation.
We had
right
beer
there.
to drink and tequila shots to take.
Yeah.
I'm well aware.
Right,
I'm with Brian. Like I agree with Josh. Like I want a team full of a-holes, but I also want them to be a-holes on the field, not to kids that are just there and looking at. They're looking at this guy like, man, look how. First of all, he's an imposing figure. He's tall as shit. But, like, come on, man, that's a bunch of kids. I don't like that. I don't like that from anyone. I don't like that from professionals. And if this guy is going to be a professional, he'll never watch this podcast. But, grow up and be a man. And just, if you're going to be able to start now. Because trust me, scouts do look at that stuff. And teams look at that stuff and how you carry yourself. And just like the Cubs guy a couple days ago telling, well, it's almost like STTDB. He told that Cubs fan to you just got to tune all that out and be the bigger person. And yeah, he's a young guy, but I'm a little bit disappointed as much as we cheered for him and pulled for him in the College World Series last year. And it's just disappointing to hear those stories. But anyway, that's not neither here nor there. I just hope that gives a little extra motivation for any players that are watching today to do that to him if we get to face him. All right, let's talk about some Lanyap Shaws. Let's talk about the All SBC. I had that pulled up. So give me 1 second because I do have to back out of what I'm in. I was looking at some All Sunbelt second team. That would be the second team. Let's talk about the fact that Cody Brash, Andrew Herman, and Colt Brown all made the All SBC second team. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying you're asking a bunch of sports writers who cover their teams who the best in the Sun Belt is. So don't put a whole ton of weight into this. Don't think that this is a do or die thing. I guess the argument against Cody Brash is he only started a limited number of games this season. I guess the argument against Andrew Herman, even though he is probably still tied or leading the country in complete games this season is that there were other guys better than him. And I don't want to be the complete homer on this, but I feel like one of those two guys should have been first team. You could make the argument with Colt Brown. I'm okay with him being second team Sun Belt because I think he's going to be, if we can hold on to him first team Sun Belt starting next season, I think he's got a little maturing to do. But between Brash and Herm, one of those guys should have been first team. Mike, your thoughts? And try not to be too much of a homer.
I do think Cody Brash, I think you kind of nailed it. I think if he would have been a Friday night god the whole entire season, I think that absolutely changes. I think Cody Brash is playing his best ball right now, and it started in the middle, and he kept trending up. I think Lee absolutely got snubbed. Lee has, 0 errors on the season, and he consistently batted 300 plus.
No, but he didn't hit with power. Hit enough home runs, I guess.
He had the defense, 0 errors, which is phenomenal. He was perfect, and he was a 300 plus the whole entire season. I think he got snubbed. He don't deserve that. He deserves to be on. Andrew Herman leads the nation in complete games. I think, if anything, Herm should be first team because 4 complete games on the season, there's only 2 guys in the nation that has that, and Andrew's one of them. I think Herm should have been definitely 1, Cody Brash 2, only because he wasn't a starter the whole entire season. The whole entire season, maybe that would have changed, but I still kind of feel Cody and Herm should have been flirting with that first team, but definitely Herm, I think.
Kev, your thoughts? What do you think should have happened as far as first team All Sun Belt went?
Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. The only thing against Cody is the number of innings pitched. He's only pitched 64 innings this year, but if you look at the rest of his numbers, they're only hitting 182 against him. That's incredible. With 74 strikeouts, only 18 walks, a 2.24 ERA. I mean, if he would have been starting Friday nights from the get-go, we'd be looking at an absolute lock for maybe even player of the year or pitcher of the year in the conference. So, and Herm as well. I think Herm did enough this year to warrant being first team, especially being a senior. But my biggest thing with this was Lee. Lee getting snubbed, not even on second team. Are you kidding me? I went on a little rant about the Sun Belt last the post-game show, and I feel like here we are again. The Sun Belt dropping the ball. I don't know who votes on all this stuff. I don't know if it's coaches or whatever, but it's amazing that you got 0 errors. You got one of the best run save statistics. There was a metric that was put out there. I think he was the second best first baseman in the country regarding that matter. No errors, batting, over 300 for pretty much the whole year. And the only thing you can really say about him, he hadn't hit for a whole lot of power. But if you look at the dudes at bats and the clutchness he's had, it is an absolute mockery that Lee Amadei is not on the all-conference list. Absolute mockery.
Plus, he's got a big booty. I mean, come on, man.
You would say that, Nick. You would say that.
Actually, I didn't say that. That was Cole's son who said it. But I will yell it every opportunity I have at every baseball game I am at, including at Houston, when everybody in the stadium turned around and looked at me weird. But hey, I'll take it, man. I will go back to Brian Minton talking about New Mexico State. He's bringing up terrible memories. And, New Mexico State, if you think Texas State is a hitter's ballpark, New Mexico State is Texas State plus elevation and thin air. So literally a fly ball to right center, shallow right center is out of the ballpark at New Mexico State, and they eliminated us the year after making it to the College World Series. They eliminated us from our own hosted Sun Belt Conference tournament the following year, and the players had to go work their own tournament because they did not make it. Thanks to New Mexico State swinging the bats. And per Josh, don't give Deggs any ideas about moving the fences in. Yeah, we're not going to go there. We'll talk about the fences, because I do want to ask you guys, after all that talk about moving the fences in, How many more runs would Coastal have scored this weekend had we moved the fences in 10 feet? Mike, I see you nodding. I know your friend gives you shit because you're always nodding your head, but is that not? I mean, like, again, it works both ways, brother.
So I was that guy that was in the middle. I really liked everybody's perspective on it. Everybody had some really good points, but one of the things I told y'all whenever we were celebrating after the series win, I said, if that fence was in, that series completely changes. There was multiple times Coastal had balls at the fence. We had balls at the fence. I think if that was a different fence and field, I think that series could have changed big time. That series kind of opened my eyes as far as how much advantage we had this weekend. And just like Southern Miss, Coastal, big programs that come, they struggled to get the ball out. I think Coastal had one home run on the series, and multiple times teams had balls at the fence, right? Donnie's diving for a ball in the gap, right? Noah Lewis tracks a ball down in left center at the wall. Like, that completely changes if that fence was 15 in. So that weekend kind of opened my eyes.
Well, first of all, Kev, we don't have money to move the fence in. There's number one. Number two, did this prove that we should just close the book on that forever and move along?
Yes. And I won't comment on the money thing, but you're absolutely right, Mike. I counted 3 balls for Coastal on Saturday alone that would have been home runs at Matt Degg's field at Russo Park. We had 1 ball. Look, Donnie. Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. If there was like a 1 mile per hour of wind blowing out, that would have been gone. It got held up, man.
And that's
just like all of Coastal's balls got held up. It is what it is, brother.
Bro,
that may very well happen in Montgomery. In fact, it probably will.
It will. And I know Mike was there, obviously. Mike, what did you think? Because I could tell you what I thought. Yeah, if you'd have seen me in Section A as soon as the ball came off the bat, I'm like this, ready to tap hats because we scored 3 runs or whatever it was. And I'm watching it, and I'm still cheering. And then I see the outfielder check up some.
Yep.
Like, why is he stopping? And he makes the catch on the wall, and my mouth dropped. I'm like, there's no way that ball didn't leave the park. Is that what you seen? Because you got the best vantage point in the stadium.
Donnie's ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I jumped out of my chair. I thought it was gone.
Okay.
That's off the bat. My hands go up. I stand up. I'm like, it's gone. And like you said, I'm like, it's a no-doubter. And I'm celebrating. I'm clapping, and I'm yelling. And all of a sudden, I see the left fielder stop running. As soon as I saw him stop running, I said, there's no way. There's no way. He got every bit of that ball. That sucker was high. That was a major league hit. Oh, bro, I thought it was out.
Yeah, I mean, but just to the point. So that's 3 versus 1 home runs just on Saturday. That goes out at, as Cole said, MJD Field at Russo Park. So I think that absolutely does close the book on it. And obviously, y'all know I love Coach Deggs and everything he's trying to do, but I think on this one, I got to disagree with you here, Coach. The Teague's been a pitcher's park forever, and the Teague being a pitcher's park helps you beat teams like Coastal and LSU and the bigger name teams, the schools that hit a lot of homers. You bring the fences in, it might help you beat UNO and McNeese and stuff, but hey, we can beat those teams without the help of the park. Sometimes baseball just happens, or you do some things wrong on the mound or whatever it may be. But I think the way the park is now should be the way the park is forever.
And that's a good point, Kevin, because like when I've gone to Alex Box at TSAB, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in the stands, I'm not saying the park plays smaller, but it feels smaller. It feels smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just me, but it feels like you could hit a pop fly and go out. I know that's not the case, but it's something about that setup that just makes it look like it plays small. The Teague looks like it plays huge, and it does. I don't think there's any, I don't know if it's a signage in the outfield or whatever at TSAB, but man, there's no mistaking the Teague. That is not the case. Yeah, I'm gonna take this comment down. Leave Dan alone, man. He tries, I guess. We already had the OG appreciation thread. I think Owen Galt has just really stepped up this season and continue to doing what you do, OG, because we're gonna need you in the in the tournament and beyond. Hopefully, if the pair ratings are correct and we make it to Omaha hand in hand through the gates of Omaha, as Kev has stated many, many times in our group chat. But you know what? That is his victory lap if that happens. So I'm pulling for you, brother. I hope that works.
It'll be a glorious victory lap, I promise.
Let's talk about Kevin Schnall and Coastal Carolina. Lots of rumors that he may be heading over to South Carolina, and I know some of the sources is just BS Twitter sources that have like 100 followers and are parody accounts. But there seems to be some traction there from several different national sources. I'll start with you, Kevin. Do you? I mean, is that? I get it's an SEC job, and I get it's South Carolina, and at the same time, you could have a powerhouse in Coastal with maybe a little bit less resources, but certainly you kind of have your program in auto drive, and you kind of have your recruiting there, and you have all the answers to the question to get to the College World Series and potentially win it. So my question to you is South Carolina really a step up for Schnall if he decides to take that outside of just money?
No. Simple answer. It's no. South Carolina has historically been a good program. I mean, if you look back at the early 2010s, they were there for 3 years in a row, 1-2 in a row.
I mean, shit, we beat them. They were number one in the country, had less than 10 wins, and we went to their place and beat them 2 out of 3 to get to Omaha. So I know all about Coastal Carolina and kept Book Knight and that whole crew, like really, really, really good baseball program. But we're not talking about the early 2000s anymore, unfortunately.
We're talking about now.
That sailed off, yeah.
We're talking about now, and if you look in the last 9 or 9 years, Coastal Carolina has been in 2 national championships and won one of them. They have the best, I would probably say, monetary support in the conference. They have, from what I've heard from many, one of the best facilities, stadium-wise, in the conference. And I know, obviously, the Teague is amazing, but it just speaks to how great Coastal is, and I've never been able to get out there. But at Coastal, you're a superstar, man. You get it, anything you need, you're gonna get. I feel like if you go to South Carolina, they're not gonna show you as much respect as you've already earned at Coastal. We've seen it at LSU. We've seen it at what happened to Maneri. Any time something goes slightly wrong, these SEC fans, they don't give a shit about you. They're gonna rip you apart and they're gonna throw you out the door in a bag. So you're not gonna get that at Coastal. Why not stay at somewhere that respects you, truly does respect you, a fan base and a university, a community, especially when you can do the same exact things that you could do at South Carolina. You're playing for national championships. Why leave?
Before I go to you, Mike, I have to admit I kind of feel bad for Maneri and how his career ended. Like, he could have gone out. First of all, his last year at TSAB, they gifted him a regional bid. They had no business being in the tournament. They stole a bid from somebody who belonged there. Regardless, he lost, and that doesn't matter. It's not his fault, but I kind of feel bad for the way that things ended for him, man. It's kind of like Steve Spurrier. It's just like you had all this going and you won a couple natties and you had your little swan song. And, somebody mentioned in here, Coastal has $1 million. Yeah, I mean, TSAP has, $10 million? And you see what they did with that? Jack shit. You can't buy culture. You can't buy continuity and guys getting along. You can buy a lot of individuals that play great baseball, but you can't buy a team, is I guess what I'm saying. It certainly helps, Mike. But, your thoughts on Schnall. Would that be a mistake if he went to South Carolina?
Yeah, and no, I mean, I get SEC is a step up, but he has one of the best East Coast programs. Coastal Carolina can compete and beat anybody on the East Coast. And what he's doing over there with less is extremely impressive. I don't know what to believe on Twitter. There's a lot coming out that they are interested in him. So I'm not sure what to believe, but I think he's going to have a shorter leash, in my opinion, if he's at South Carolina. I think if you don't do something really deep in 4 years, they might give him the boot. So I think I think he's better off at Coastal. I think he can do better over there than South Carolina. I just think SEC has a brutal fan base where if you don't give them what they want, they kick you out. So I think he's better off staying, man. He put Coastal Carolina on the map. He got them to the World Series. They have a team that I still think can make a run to Omaha. I think they're that good. I think he's a good coach. I think he should stay. I think what he's doing over there is good for the Sun Belt. It's good for Coastal Carolina. I think he can easily compete for a national championship there.
I don't think this is like football where you have to ride the wave when you're hot. I think you know what you're getting with Schnall, and I think a la Billy Napier, he could probably stay another couple years and get a much better opportunity. If money's what he wants, if that's his motivator, if he wants to get to the big leagues one day, and maybe his course is through the SEC or whatever, I think he has better opportunities coming down the line. Going to South Carolina, just it is what it is. Somebody, I don't know if the other Longclaw is friends with JL, but please check on him. He may be having a stroke right now. Grant is asking, is Luke Uhas at South Carolina? Yes, he is. And so is our friend Alex Valentin from Texas State. Went to a shitty team and had shitty results, and I couldn't be happier at that fact. Do the rumors about Schnall impact CCU in the Sun Belt tournament? I don't think so, man. I mean, I think it's again. I mean, did the rumors of Napier hurt us through the conference championship game? I don't think so. I think, look, it depends how Schnall handles it. If he goes to his players and say, look, honestly, we will have this conversation with South Carolina at the end of the season. Right now, I'm focused on you guys. I think that's a totally different thing. I think Coastal has its own problems that they're not playing very well right now outside of a couple of pitchers. I think that's a bigger issue than Schnall leaving, if that's my opinion. Glad to know JL did not have a stroke. Fingers hit the wrong keys. And, that guy, Alex Valentin, tried to show his ass against LSU, but then got knocked around in the third inning and couldn't really be the complete tool that he was. Guys, Lanyap segment is still open. Do you, either of you have anything else you want to talk about Lanyap before we move to Grimmies? It is wide open. I see you, Kev. You have anything for us?
Yeah, I just want to shout out Cajun Nation. Man, I was talking to Sean Flannery after the game, and I believe he said the total weekend attendance was among the top 10 in Teague history. That is an incredible feat considering how storied the history of the Teague is. We averaged right under 5,000 folks at the games this weekend. A lot of times you'll see late in the year the crowds, especially if you're not having like an incredible season, the crowds will kind of fizzle out a little bit. You won't get some of the big Friday night crowds you've seen early in the year when everyone's still excited and their pockets are still full. Well, you get towards the end of the year, you've been spending a lot of money for, on the games and this and that. And it wasn't that case this weekend for Coastal. Everybody showed up. The stadium was incredible all three games. It reminded me, the Thursday night game reminded me of the Maryland Friday game where they're struggling to throw strikes and we're just on them, ball four chance and making a lot of noise. Walked home 2 runs walked home a run and we scored another that inning doing that. So shout out to Cajun Nation for coming through when everyone really needed them to. Shout out to admin for promoting the hell out of the game. I've seen a lot of good stuff on all the socials and everything. It was a ticket deal on Thursday and all that good stuff. So Yeah, Dave Schultz, that one's for you. I know you like to talk a lot of shit on the Cajuns attendance. Well, we can go look at screen grabs and all that kind of stuff you want, but the Cajuns showed up and showed out this weekend. And I would be willing to say that looking at some stuff from the LSU games this weekend, since you like to talk about comparing us to their attendance, we probably had more people in the 3-game series at the Teague last weekend than LSU did in their 3-game series against Florida at the Box. So you're competing with them you're comparing with them in attendance talk. You're doing something good.
My man calling out Dave. By the way, I want to shout out these folks here. I promised Cole that we would do that, and I don't know if I got the chance to do it Saturday night. But Section 8, man, look at this group, bro. Look at this group of fans who show up. I mean, that's the biggest crowd I've seen for Section A in a really long time. And that's really, really great to see. It just shows you the culture of UL baseball and why I personally get so pissed off when things aren't up to par is because I want to protect that. I want to protect the culture that we have in that sport because there aren't a whole lot of sports we have that in. And softball, you saw what happened when Glasgow, we're not going to get into that, but baseball is my baby, and I'm going to protect that at all costs. But Mike, let's go back to you. Anything else for Lanyap you want to mention before we move forward?
Did we mention the all Sunbelt freshman team?
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. Talk to us a little bit about it.
Because that is humongous. I think a big part of our season was the freshman class. And the all Sunbelt freshman team is everybody we thought we'd expect. I was hoping to see one more freshman, but, you have Colt Brown, Noah Lewis, Sawyer Pruitt, Blaze Rodriguez, and I was really hoping they would have threw Hayden Pearson in there. But the Fab Four right here that made the Sunbelt freshman team completely earned every bit of it. Blaze's defense is one of the best gloves in the belt. Cole Brown was phenomenal behind the plate, an amazing hitter. He's starting to get that power in him. Noah Lewis was probably the biggest impact because where he started and where he is now is such a huge jump. He's phenomenal in the outfield. He's got his batting average up to, I think, his 298 right now. So, completely just phenomenal what Noah Lewis has been doing, man. He completely put on a show Saturday. But that freshman class is special. And we have to do everything we can to retain these guys the next 2 years.
I agree, man. I mean, first of all these guys are staying, right? No one's leaving. By the way, I got into Cajun Nation. All right, hold on. Let's have a conversation. Let me take this off. Let me put this back on. Let me arrange these. Cajun Nation. Sawyer Pruitt's dad said, last game at the Teague, we love this place. Thank you for the memories or whatever. Y'all, chill out. He said last game. Yes, of the season, y'all. At the Teague, y'all, calm down. Now, look, does that mean Sawyer is not getting offers from elsewhere? All the players are getting offers from elsewhere. Does that mean he's going to be back next year? No. I don't know what's in Sawyer's mind. I don't know whether but chill. Jeff was just saying, thank you for the memories. It's great. And I'm speaking on his behalf. I didn't even talk to him about it because I thought it was kind of silly. I think people, jump to conclusions. Let's not worry about that till after the season. We can talk about this in a month. Right now, let's just enjoy the ride. But I would assume that it's not what Mr. Pruitt had in mind when he posted that. I doubt Mr. Jeff would say that emphatically on social media before anything happened. Kevin, I see kind of I agree with me on that one. I think people just need to relax.
I'm not going to say it was taken out of context, but I think it did. It prompted a few people to at least ask, what do you mean by that?
But I'm with JL. He ain't trying to break news on Twitter.
No.
Yo, calm down. It's all right. It's all right.
No.
Does that mean he's staying? No, it doesn't. But it means that, y'all relax because.
It doesn't mean he's leaving, is the point.
Right. Exactly.
But I do want to say this real quick to Mike's point about that all-freshman team. Man, congratulations to those freshmen on that and everything they've accomplished this year. And to the whole team, but mainly those freshmen and the younger guys, I just wanted to say that when you're at UL, you'll probably never be at another program that truly loves you more than this fan base does. We're going to support you no matter what. We're not gonna get down on you or anything like that. We're gonna show up. We're gonna try to help you any way you can. You don't have to leave here. You can look at Kyle DeBarge, who's well on his way, first-round draft pick, is a perfect example. Carson Rockefeller, Julian Brock, Jonathan Lucroy. I mean, you can go back down the line of guys that didn't need to go to a big school to get everything they needed to get and make it up to the big leagues. Because I promise that first big league check you get is going to trump anything you could have got out of LSU or Georgia or wherever it may be. So I think that's a big point I wanted to mention for the team. I'm sure they're listening. You can do everything you want to do right here in Lafayette.
Look at just look on social media how their fans treat their players. Zach York, man. I mean, I don't like the guy just because he's a TSAB player. I hate him just because he's TSAB. But at the same time, I mean, I could put that aside and be like, he's just a dude trying to play baseball and live his best life. And those fans have torn him absolutely to shreds.
There was one comment on Tiger droppings that Jerry was gracious enough to share with us.
Yeah, because that's where he spends his day. But go ahead.
They want to put the team in front of a firing squad. Have you ever seen that before? I mean, come on, man.
Dude, they told me, I mean, I don't want to say the exact name, but the guy who led Germany in World War II, if he was alive and I was alive, they'd kill me first. Like, for talking baseball? Like, for talking shit about sports?
York probably won't be able to.
I don't even want to say what state I'm in right now.
York probably won't be able to show his face in Baton Rouge after baseball career. They ripped him apart very bad online.
But I mean that's why the Lane Kiffin thing is going to be so sweet to watch the downfall of that. And Will Wade is signing 40-year-old basketball players scoring 3.1 points a game in Moldova. So anyway, I just that whole it's such a bandwagony. Like, if you don't do what I need anyway, this is not about TSAB. Screw those guys. I hate them. Whatever. Natty Daddy checking in. The Scott Park Rams hit the ball tonight. My dude, listen to this. His son and daughter just hitting bombs all over. Is it T-ball? I can't remember if it was T-ball or coach pitch, but those dudes, that dude and that chick just hitting the ball all over the park. And by the way, when I played T-ball at Scott Park, it didn't look anything like that. I mean, they got lights. You only had lights when you got to like Pony. You didn't have light, and they got the field is all turf and all this crap. I'm like, this is why these kids get all spoiled when they get to college. And then you look at the travel teams, and they all got their hidden gloves that are different colors, and they got the sliding shawls, and they got the special jerseys for every day of the week. And I'm like, they gave you a Sats shirt, and you had to go buy your pants and cleats. Anyway, I'm getting way off topic. Let's get to Gourmets. Speaking of all topic, Gourmet is brought to you by Lafayette. Eat Lafayette and Lafayette Travel. Great partners of Rage and Review. Can't wait to get some of those segments on again next football season, because I know Jerry enjoyed eating all of the food. Well, I got to piece all of the video together. But anyway, I'm not going to be too bitter about that, boys. There's going to be an argument. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be an argument, because I can't even really settle on one. I've got a couple in my mind. But I'll let you guys go first. What is the best sports movie of all time? And I already have a feeling this is going to be generational. So I think you're the youngest, Kev. Let's start with you. What is the best sports movie of all time?
I've felt strong about this for a long time. And you're probably going to know what I'm going to say. It's Remember the Titans. There's no better sports movie, football, baseball, hockey, anything better than Remember the Titans. You look like you disagree with that.
That's a good one, though. It is a good one. That's
Well, the thing
I
is,
mean, that'd be like me saying Varsity Blues.
what? Did you just compare Remember the Titans to Varsity Blues, which is a good film, but that's like, are you kidding me?
Well, Friday Night Lights, not Varsity Blues. Friday Night Lights.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right, that's a little better, but still,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I was. It's Vanderbeek or whoever was, and yeah. Anyway, it's Friday Night Lights. That's what I was thinking of.
well,
But
Patterson, the great coach Tommy Minton, before every season would show the team Remember the Titans. And man, at Patterson, it really just brought everybody together. It was kind of a tradition. So, yeah, I absolutely love that movie. It gets me fired up for football season, that's for sure.
all right, Mikey, what you got, bud?
I narrowed mine to baseball movies because I think you had texted baseball and then you had comment or sports movies, but I went the baseball route, and that was one of my answers. So here's what I did: I narrowed it down to 4. Moneyball was on my top list just because I like looking at numbers and the stats. It all kind of relates to me. Here's my 4: Moneyball, Angels in the Outfield, The Sandlot, Field of Dreams. And I was going back and forth between all of them, but I have to pick The Sandlot because I'm a 90s kid. That movie was iconic. It was one of the best in the world. Best baseball movie, hands down.
I mean, who doesn't love tequila playing while all the guys throw up on the screen? Or Wendy Peppercorn when she gives CPR. I mean, come on,
Got to be The Sandlot. Got to be.
that is pretty good. Look,
Yeah,
that was my close second.
Sandlot would be my favorite baseball related movie, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So I had 4. Again, generationally showing you age. Sandlot was in the top 4, as was Slapshot, which I'm sure none of you have seen. Paul Newman, hockey movie, hilarious. It's like Bull Durham, which was also in my top 4. Bull Durham. It's like the hockey version of that. And what's even funnier is that it was based off of the life of a former coach that coached against the Ice Gators. So that made it all kind of come full circle for me. Number 1 has to be Field of Dreams, man. I don't think cinematography-wise, I don't think story-wise, I don't think star power-wise, it gets better than that. And the wife in the movie is now in the she's a crazy Ann in that movie. The kids running around and the guy, that horror movie what is it called? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, nobody knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, Field of Dreams is my number 1. We're gonna go with that. But again, Major League is great. Caddyshack, man. You don't even talk about Caddyshack. I am so shocked nobody said Angels in the Outfield. I really am shocked.
That was in my
Nobody
final
said
4.
Angels.
That was my final 4.
I will say this, and I think this was kind of where the Grimmies came from this week. We were talking about, we're playing Marshall. We Are Marshall. And I really love the movie. It's a tearjerker, but it kind of was watered down a little for me when Marshall joined the conference because I'm like, well, I got to hate these guys, but this movie's so good, So that's definitely a good movie, though.
I think you can appreciate the story and hate the team.
Yeah.
I think
That's fair.
fine. Talking about JL's asking about coaching against the Ice Gators. So Slapshot, Paul Newman was the star of the movie, and it was based off of a team in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, which is where John Brophy coached, or excuse me, played. And John Brophy was one of the older guys on the team, but was just very hard nosed and kind of an a-hole. Well, he ended up coaching the Hampton Roads Admirals in the East Coast Hockey League. And so, so I actually got to meet him and interview him once as a student in high school. But he coached in the Cage Dome against Doug Shedden and the Ice Gators. And as good as a coach Doug Shedden was, he got his ass kicked by John Brophy. John Brophy had this Ric Flair white hair, just like him, and he was a man. He was a man. But yeah, don't sleep on Slapshot. If you guys haven't seen it, even if you don't like hockey, it's one of those movies where it's just so the whole thing starts off off the rails and then just goes downhill from there. So
Or the Mighty Ducks on the if you go on hockey.
Oh my
Any
God.
any
Dude,
movie in
if
the 90s.
freaking Jerry posts that GIF, Jerry, I know you're watching. If you post that stupid GIF one more time on Twitter, you can post it as much as you want on Facebook. Go ahead, do it. Do it right now. In fact, Jerry, please go on Facebook and play more runs, more whatever. Yay, more fun. Go post that right now. If you do it on Twitter again, I'm changing the password to everything, and you don't have access. Understand?
No. More fun's one of the best. Thank you. Let's go, Jerry. More fun.
Yeah, Kevin,
that's one of the best tweet review posts.
You're a nice dude, but Kev, you're a nice dude. You're a Facebook guy. X is a different world, dude.
I'm not.
You don't take your Facebook into X.
No, I'm definitely an X guy. More fun is more fun.
No, it's terrible.
No,
yeah, it's more fun if you're like 80 years old. Like you can't. Again, we already established you can't.
Here we go.
Have geriatric without putting Jerry into it. Like,
okay, here's a good point to that. Where's more fun come from? You were talking about an old movie, right?
And
I have no idea. I had no idea that was a thing. I had no idea that came from an old movie. I still enjoyed it. I didn't even know it was about a movie. So why can't the younger generation like it?
Cole really just put the Water Boy.
Water Boy.
The Replacements was good too.
Water Boy.
Funny movie.
It's iconic. It's Louisiana.
I mean,
That's
Happy Gilmore. Here's the problem I have. It's really like Slapshot is very irreverent, and it's a comedy, but it's comedy, but it's actually freaking true. Like Bull Durham. It's comedy, but it's kind of freaking true. Happy Gilmore is not real life. Like The Price is Wrong, bitch. Like, no, that's not real life. Like, Bob Barker was not fighting somebody on the. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have your Scooter McGavins, which, by the way, is one of the best actors ever. Shooter. Did I say Scooter? Shooter McGavin. Sorry, it's late. I've been drinking, but yeah, I'm just.
Hey, if you want to talk about football, or if you want to talk about movies like that stuff really probably wouldn't happen in real life. One of my other favorite sports movies is Division III Football's Finest. And if there's any ball knowers out there in the comments, please let me know, because we probably have a similar sense of humor. Do you know what I'm talking about? Y'all ever seen that movie?
What is it again? What's the name of it?
It's called Division III Football's Finest.
No, never heard of it.
It's a bit vulgar. It's hilarious though.
The only reason I'm not shitting on Jerry about saying, Jesuit, blah, 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 is because Glory Road was, yes, filmed there. The announcer in that movie at the stadium, I think they filmed part of it either at Blackham or at the Cajun Dome, but T.D. Smith, R.I.P. T.D., was the announcer. You can kind of hear him in the movie in the background announcing that. So that was pretty good. Brad Boyd was on Kentucky's team in Glory Road at Jesuit, of course.
I didn't know that.
Jail turned into Happy Gilmore, guys.
You can't go wrong with a 90s. You can't go wrong with a 90s sports movie.
Come on, man.
90s sports
Secretariat was actually really good. I know a lot of people who were on that cast and got to do. I saw, who was that dude? I don't know, weird guy. He was in that movie, and I saw him at Walmart, and he looked weird as shit. But I think all those Hollywood people look super weird when they're not,
I'll go two more. I've always been I'll go two more. I've always been a big race fan. Talladega Nights and Days of Thunder.
Well, when you said Talladega
Nights,
I wouldn't say those were two of the best, but I will say Talladega Nights was pretty elite. Walker and Texas Ranger.
Days of Thunder is an amazing movie too.
Baby Jesus.
If you're a race fan, you like that.
I don't think I've ever seen Days of Thunder. And I'm old. I feel like I should have.
I feel like it's a race fan thing, though.
Dude, League of Their Own was really good. Like
Rookie.
that was.
That's like my mom's favorite movie. That's a good one.
That was really good. That's one that, like, when you're flipping channels and you see it, like, I leave it on there and kind of watch it. Because that's kind of my childhood.
What's the one, the rookie where the kid breaks his arm and he throws 99?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That
and
was a
then
good
you
one.
can't throw anymore after
Yeah.
something happens.
God, they
That
had
was
such
kind
good
of
movies in the 90s. Good
I
baseball
know, they
movies.
really did. They had Little Giants. I mean, think about
Little Giants.
Walter Matthau and the Bad News Bears. We quote that all the time because we played like the freaking Bad News. It's Rookie of the Year. That's what it was.
Rookie of
Thanks,
the Year.
Tyson. I
That's
Here's
appreciate
something,
it.
Nick. I've never seen the original Bad News Bears. Only the one with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, dude, you need to.
I was watching
you need
it
to.
like last night, in fact.
You know, and so let's talk about, since we talked about the good movies, let's talk about the bad ones. And I'll say the worst sports movie of all time, but in a way, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I'll give you two. Caddyshack 2, absolutely awful, but I love it. But the worst sports movie of all time that I own on DVD, and I think I even bought it to stream because I like it so much, Basketball. You remember that movie where they like...
That's a different
Yeah,
type of comedy. That's a
Oh,
different type of
dude.
comedy.
Basketball was amazing. I'm just saying.
I forgot.
Is
about
there
that.
any like terrible movies you can think of sports wise?
I can't think of any off the top of my head. Let me
Yeah.
Google this real quick.
Caddyshack 2 was pretty bad.
I'm gonna need people
I'm
to
just saying, it
comment
was
because
awful.
I can't think of anything. I'm gonna need people to comment so I can start remembering bad movies.
And there was also one with
Little Bow Wow. He did basketball.
oh god, yeah. Those were pretty bad. Beer League. Beer League was awful. Oh my god, I forgot about that one.
Me too.
And this is going way
About kicking and screaming. Remember that one? You got that. You got Semi-Pro.
White Man Can't Jump was actually good.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, you can't say that was bad. I thought that was great.
Blades of Glory.
That
Rosie
was pretty
Perez
bad.
on oh my god.
That was
the
pretty
Rosie
bad.
Perez on Jeopardy and White Man Can't Jump was freaking hilarious, dude.
I'll be
Does
honest.
dodgeball okay.
Oh,
Dodge,
I was gonna say that. That's
is
a
it
great
so
movie.
bad it's good?
That's
or is
not
it
bad,
really
it's good.
Because, bro, like I'm flipping through streaming channels yesterday and there's freaking The Ocho. It's like a whole streaming channel now.
Yeah,
dude.
it's
Like
Still a
it
good movie.
created a whole category on streaming.
that's worth something.
I liked it. I've always liked it. I thought it was funny.
Benchwarmers was terrible too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Benchwarmers wasn't that great, man. It wasn't that great.
No, it was actually pretty bad.
What's the one where the little kid dies and he was
Oh well, this is going up to star. Little kid
What?
dies.
The little kid dies.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch what I say.
Put up your cramp hole.
He had a green. I think he had a green jersey.
It's the hair, Cotton. It's got to be the hair.
What's the one where the little kid dies? That was a great
text
movie.
y'all. I'd have to text y'all later.
You had to.
You know what?
Stop. You had to stop your thought.
I think that's a cue for us to call it a night, boys.
Yeah.
He said, hashtag save me a click. Boys, it has been a lot of fun. I am glad we were able to make this happen, even though I am in, again, a hotel room in the middle of nowhere, which I'm not revealing because I don't want TSAT fans to stalk and kill me. So that would be a good thing. But, boys, I'll give you last thoughts, and then we'll call it a night. Mike, any final thoughts before we hit the field in Montgomery tomorrow?
Final thoughts. Forget what we did in the past. Show up tomorrow. We're going to have to hit our way through it. If how bad you want it, our future relies on it. We need all hands on deck. Team win. We have to hit our way through. It's our future tomorrow. I want to go to a regional, so I'm just saying.
Boys, do it for the kid who died in that movie. Kev, final thoughts.
I just want to tell the boys, one game at a time. Go out there, leave it all on the field. You don't know when it's going to be your last. Don't leave it to the hands of somebody else to determine your destiny. Go out there and put on a show for everybody, for the red and white and everybody back home, and we'll see you in a regional.
Have fun, play loose, play hard, get us some wins. Regionals are in our sights. It's up to you. Close it out. For my boy Kev, for Mike, I am Nicholas. I don't have any closing music because I'm not doing this from home, so I can't play out with some good tunes. But just sing something in your head and that'll take you out of the show tonight. Game is on tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock. I'm sure we'll talk after then. But for all the boys at Rage and Review, we thank you for joining us. And as always, go Cajuns.
Dude.